The rooster crowed as the first light of dawn touched the roofs of their poor neighborhood. Mama Ngozi was already awake, sweeping the front yard and preparing her makeshift food stand just outside their rented room. Her hands were cracked from constant washing and cooking, her back stiff from sleeping on a tin mat. Still, she smiled. She had mouths to feed. Inside the house, Papa Ngozi stretched lazily and groaned. Woman, have you swept the compound? I can't step out in this mess. I'm just finishing, Papa Ngozi. I still need to fetch water and start cooking. He rubbed his back. My waist still pains me. I can't go to that mechanic shop today. You women are built for this kind of thing. And just like that, he rolled over and slept again. For years, Papa Ngozi had been jobless, finding excuse after excuse. Meanwhile, Mama Ngozi sold small meals in front of their home to survive. A pot of rice, a pot of beans, a few wraps of fufu. Her food was decent but not extraordinary. Customers came, but never enough. The money she earned barely covered the day's expenses, let alone school fees, rent, or clothing. She often watched her children go to school barefoot, their uniforms torn, while her husband spent his days playing draughts and complaining about back pain. It was a hot afternoon when a black Lexus RX pulled up beside Mama Ngozi's food stand. People turned to stare. The car opened, and out stepped a glamorous woman in gold accessories and designer sunglasses. Mama Gold! Mama Ngozi gasped. They hugged. Mama Gold had been her old friend, but they had lost touch. Rumors said she now imported gold and traveled abroad often. She always seemed to glow. You are still here selling food like this? You look stressed, my sister. My dear, it's not easy. This man I married, he's just waiting for miracles while I do everything. Mama Gold looked around and lowered her voice. If you are really tired of suffering, I can help you, but you must be ready. Tell me, I'm ready. Mama Ngozi cried. Mama Gold studied there. You are a church woman. I'm not sure you can do it though. Why did you say that? I hope it's not something bad. She smiled mysteriously and said, We'll talk again. Think about it. 2 weeks later, Mama Ngozi came home to find a note stuck on the wall. Final eviction notice. Her heart sank. The children had been sent home again for unpaid school fees. That evening, Papa Ngozi returned drunk and complained about the noise in the house. She sat outside crying when the Lexus returned. You are ready now, Mama Gold said. I don't have any other option. I'm tired. Please help me. What she heard that night chilled her bones. It involved a visit to remote herbalists and other rituals. It sounds like witchcraft, Mama Ngozi gasped. Call it what you like, Mama Gold replied, but it works and no one will ever suspect. The next The next morning, trembling and uncertain, Mama Ngozi followed the instructions. She cooked her usual small quantity, but this time added the new sauce. Before she could even finish cooking, people began lining up. Madam, we dey wait oh, the smell alone, omo. I never even had Maggi now, she laughed nervously. One woman offered to help her cook so it would be ready faster. The food finished by 10 a.m. normally. She closed by 6 p.m. She got home early and Papa Ngozi looked suspicious. Wetin happen? Police chase you? I sold everything, she whispered. He raised an eyebrow. Na today luck shine. But the same thing happened the next day and the next. Soon, people began coming with coolers, asking for takeaways. Weeks passed, her small store became a big restaurant. She employed over 6 sales girls and boys. Newspapers started writing about her. Instagram food bloggers visited. Everyone in town called her the queen of taste. Papa Ngozi, now always in new clothes, began boasting. My wife na the richest food seller for 3 states. She dey drive pass commissioner o. She bought a Lexus. They built their own bungalow. The children changed schools, but some whispers began to stir. The other restaurant owners became restless. How could one woman suddenly attract all the customers? That woman dey use something, said Mama Ugo, who used to have the busiest shop. They started observing her carefully. One thing stood out. Her sauce always came from home. Even if forgotten, she personally had to fetch it. No one else touched it, not even her children. A desperate competitor approached one of Mama Ngozi's girls, Ijeoma. "We'll give you 100K. Just find out what it is in that sauce." Ijeoma agreed. She tried for days to follow Mama Ngozi or sneak a peek at the sauce ingredients. The first few days, she got nothing. She returned and demanded more money. On the fourth day, she saw something odd but didn't understand. On the fifth day, Ijeoma went early and hid behind the water tank near Mama Ngozi's house with her phone camera ready. At 5 a.m., Mama Ngozi stepped into the open yard with a pot. She muttered strange words, urinated into the pot, added sachet tomatoes and a black powder, stirred it and covered it with a red cloth, and then took the pot inside and rested. At 8 a.m., she carried it to the restaurant. Ijoma captured everything. The video was sent to Mama Ugo. That afternoon, all the neighboring food vendors marched into Mama Ngozi's shop. It was full of customers as usual. "You dey cook food with your pee," one shouted. "Me? Are you mad?" She denied. They played the video. Gasps, people dropped their spoons. One woman tried to vomit. Chaos broke out. Plates were smashed. Mama Ngozi fainted. Papa Ngozi arrived and was beaten too. Later, at the police station, she confessed, "Mama God took me to one herbalist. It was to help me succeed. I didn't know it would come to this." Mama Ngozi and Mama Good were sentenced to prison. Their properties were seized. Her children were mugged at school and withdrawn. Their house was auctioned, her Lexus gone. She sat in a prison cell, staring into space, from the top of the food chain to rock bottom, all for a source and all for money. Be careful what you hunger for. Some shortcuts lead to destruction. What is built on deceit will eventually crumble. If you learned anything from this story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video.